You ready?
Yep. You said recording started.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the Reality or Not podcast with the homie Ed. How you doing, Ed? How was your weekend? How's everything?
Weekend was cool. What about yours? Everything's solid. What about you?
It was cool, being a little sick and shit, trying to figure that out. But other than that, what I'm saying, everything was Gucci, what I'm saying, just living life, what I'm saying, out here like a G, balling out till you fall out, drink till you faint, what I'm saying. But
Okay.
what I'm saying, you want to jump right into it?
Sure. Go ahead, homie.
All right, cool. First topic I got. I was trying to go through everything that was kind of going down the past couple of weeks and shit like that. And we hadn't talked because we was out there on the boat and shit and motherfucking Cozumel and shit, motherfucking getting a vacation in and shit. Tried to record while we was on the motherfucking boat, but it was too motherfucking windy and shit. But anyway, first thing I was thinking about talking about, and we ain't got to go into it too in depth, but the Drake lawsuit with Universal. How you feel about that?
You suing somebody because you lost a rap beef, but then he dropped it right and put in another suit or something. I don't know. I don't get it, man. It's music, man. You just take your L and move on, man. Like you talking about collusion and all of this, like. I mean, whatever, man. Like, what if McMill would have done that when you was whooping on him? Like, I don't know. Drake trying to act like I don't know the powers that be were colluding against him in favor of Kendrick. Yeah, it could happen in somewhere, but like Drake, you got. I'm sure you got some supporters in these buildings. Like, everybody's not gonna sign up to like take you out and everything. I don't know. Stupid shit.
It's a little tricky, man, because like I said, I think it's kind of whack, what I'm saying, to do the suing, but at the same time, I said this from the beginning, like when you call a nigga a pedophile or like you say a nigga raped somebody, like you can't shake that shit off. Like that's a hard one. What I'm saying? Like that's the one thing that, what I'm saying, you put on people, what I'm saying, that it never, like say for instance, a nigga go to court or a nigga like they say, oh, you raped this woman or something like that. It could be a total lie, but in the eyes of the public, that shit sticks. So, like I said, I think it's a silly lawsuit, but at the same time, not to say that it has merit, but I mean,
pedophile and a rapist.
Huh?
Was he suing them for calling him a pedophile and a rapist?
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what the whole thing about is. Like he was saying how he lost business based off of that being promoted. You know what I'm saying? And essentially the song is calling him a pedophile the whole song. So and he said, you say what?
He said Kendrick beat his wife. We don't know that those allegations are true.
Yeah, but we tend to like, not I want to say within the black community, but sometimes we kind of let that stuff go, as far as beating and shit like that. I mean, niggas still out there. They talking about niggas was beating niggas or beating women.
X-Ray Rice. X-Ray Rice, how that went for him.
Oh, that nigga was on video though. That nigga damn near not. I mean, honestly, if you look at that shit, that Ray Rice shit, that nigga got initially, I think it was like 2 games.
Yep, when they saw the video.
And then that video came out, I think it was done. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like I said, I ain't saying it is right. Shit, I think the lawsuit is, I don't want to say frivolous. Shit, I care less what them niggas doing, but it's just crazy when, like I said it from the jump, like you call me a pedophile, it's like all gloves off. You know what I'm saying? Like now we trying to, now I'm gonna try to get you this way, that way, the other, pause. And like I don't know, calling somebody a pedophile or a rapist, that's a sketchy one for me. Like I said, I wouldn't say like full out go out lawsuit type of stuff. I mean, take that L and keep it moving. But he just, I said I can't speak for the man, but feels like he's just reaching and he's going from the angle like, okay, well, if y'all gonna hurt me like this, then I'm gonna hurt y'all like that. So
I got you. Yeah.
So, but now that's I don't ever want to be in the pedo rapist category. I mean, in nobody's eyes, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's one person, whether it's 100, 1,000, like that shit is a like if one person say it, you know what I'm saying, that shit could ruin you forever throughout your career. And luckily, ain't no allegations and stuff like that against Drake or anything that we heard of. But you know what I'm saying, all it takes is one, you know what I'm saying, to make it go that much further, So
that's true.
Yeah. But how you feel about the Jim Jones and Cam shit, like going back and forth? Like, I don't know. I mean, I jump into it initially, and like the thing I didn't like about it is like y'all supposed to be boys, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like almost, when Cam was going, like saying now that you ain't from Harlem, I'm like, Jim Jones always expressed he was from Harlem, you know what I'm saying? So even if he wasn't from Harlem, I mean, you had time and time again to go ahead and say,
right,
nigga ain't from Harlem, nigga claim the Bronx, whatever you can't claim. But I always say claim what and this is one thing I don't like with New York niggas sometimes, right? Them niggas claim the ones that they want to claim, but then they don't claim like I heard niggas say, well, Michael Jordan is born in Brooklyn and shit. It's like, nigga, that nigga's clearly from Wilmington, North Carolina. Like, the fuck? Like, that nigga ain't lived in motherfucking Brooklyn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Niggas just claim shit, you know what I'm saying, just for the sake of claiming. You know what I'm saying? But back to the Jim Jones, Cameron shit, it's like, damn, like, if any nigga, like, don't get me wrong, I mean, this whole New York shit, if any nigga that ever said they was from Harlem, like Jim Jones is that one nigga that I'm like,
right, yeah,
that nigga is from Harlem. Like that nigga is like I've never heard him not say Harlem. I never heard him I never heard nobody else to spell that he's not from Harlem, until now. And it's kind of like y'all supposed to be boys type of shit. Like, let that shit go. Like y'all arguing over some shit. Y'all arguing over some dumbass shit with, I mean, don't get me wrong, I fuck with 50 and shit like that, but y'all arguing over some shit that you or Cameron and 50 are having a conversation about on their show, and that's what y'all like, and that's the basis of the argument. Because I mean, a little bit of history.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll just be startup.
Okay, so back in the day, 50 when Cameron and 50 were going back and forth.
Right.
50 added some artists to his show to be able to perform with him. Like I said, they beefing at the time, but he had like Jules. Well, okay, let me correct that. I can't remember if it was Jules, but it was definitely Jim Jones. But he had Jim Jones. He had what's up, girl? Remy Ma. He had them come perform with him at a New York show. So, he was going at it with Fat Joe. He was going at it with Cameron. He's going at it with Jadakiss and all that. So, the Locks wasn't going to show it. Them niggas, like, them the one niggas in the industry I ain't going to ever hear about, in my opinion, beefing. Like, them niggas is some legit ass nigga. Like, you ain't going to hear 50 beefing with Jadakiss, but Styles is at a 50 show performing with him or something like that. But all that being said, Cameron and 50, like Cameron interviewed 50 and Tony Ayo and Murder, and he interviewed them and he asked them about, like, how did you get them niggas to perform with me? And 50 pretty much said like, I threw it out there and the nigga like said, cool, this was nigga was riding off of Ballin', you know what I'm saying? So the way Jim Jones explained it, he was like, well, this is more so for me to get exposure at the time. So he went on and did the thing with 50, so, but it was just kind of like, they were kind of joking kind of too hard or whatever. And I don't think Jim Jones took a liking to it. So then Cameron turned around, released the interview or not. Well, he did a thing with you know, they do him and Mace do a show together, and it is what it is. They did their show together, you know, and he showed up and Mason over there eating popcorn and shit and like just letting Cameron just vent, you know. So Cameron's like, yo, you know, you ain't never been Harlem. You ain't never been like any nigga that ever put their hand on you. You made up with, whether it was Mano, whether it was True Murder, or not True Murder, True Life, or any of these other rappers that you had beef with or that we had beef with in the past. You know, so it was just kind of, you know, and then it was like the whole idea that you're not from Harlem. So that's the whole gist of the story. So but you know, it's just weird to me. Like I feel you said what?
Sound like two grown men who need to act like two grown men and just let shit be in the past. Y'all don't want to rock with each other, don't rock with each other, but y'all don't even gotta take it to the media. Like y'all can just quietly not talk to each other and leave it be. But the whole y'all airing each other out, you talking about, man, everybody knows Jim Jones from Harlem. Like you said was from Harlem. Like so we doing all that. Y'all going back and forth and all of this over something that happened like years ago. Like so, like, and if y'all ain't never gonna be cool, that's cool. But like, man, don't nobody care. Like, yeah, I mean, y'all, man, look,
y'all grow. It's like that's
grown. Like, y'all ain't gotta be friends. Y'all, friendship, it's cool, but y'all ain't gotta rehash it. Not for the public. We don't. I mean, I don't care. But
yeah, it's so stupid, and it's like bro, like that's your guy. Like the way I was listening to DJ Envy, and the way he explained it, he was like, well, the way Dipset started out, he was saying it was Jules and Cameron as the rappers, and then it was Jim Jones and Freaky as the muscle. You know what I'm saying? He said like they used to always go around and, you know, but they was all, you know, it was hard. It was Dipset, you know, and it's like they crew. Like you don't get mad at it. Like just let that shit go and keep it moving. You know, I think Cameron kind of took it a little too personal, but then Jim Jones is kind of, you know, greasy talking, you know, initially, and that's where that's where Cameron kind of, you know, just went and was like, yo, this is what it is, and I ain't gonna talk on it no more type of stuff. But like I said, I don't like to see them type of niggas. Like even if I fuck with Dipset, but I don't like to see them type of niggas that's like crew arguing. It's like I'm like the one thing that always bothers me is like 50 and Lloyd Banks. It's like, but Lloyd Banks will say something, and it's like, bro, like you know, if you say something to 50, like that shit ain't go in. You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching the clip earlier today, and 50 is like, yo, he's like, I don't want a problem, but if somebody want a problem, just let me know. I could be the problem, you know. And I was like, damn, like, you know, so yeah, so it seems like, I mean, because they say 50 start shit and like even within this beef, I didn't see it as him starting. He was just, you know, talking, you know, based off of the art of war. You know, it's like, well, I get your crew to perform with me because this is a rap beef. You know, and you know, like you said, I mean, they laughed at it, you know, over the years, but it's just interesting to see like niggas still mad about shit like, you know, in 2025. Like, and I can't tell a nigga how to feel, but you know, I mean, fuck that shit. That shit just ain't worth arguing about, man. So let me ask you this question. What did you do when TikTok went down?
Nothing, because I don't be on TikTok for real. I think somebody sent me something and I looked at a link. People just send me links. I don't know what they link to until like I click on it. And I think I saw something that TikTok was going away. And then like somebody sent me something yesterday and it told me thank President Trump because he brought TikTok back. So I guess I never missed it in this down period. But I don't get on TikTok, so I never
You're not a TikTok user?
No. Like I have it, but it's when people send me, like I said, people send me stuff. So when they send me stuff, like it might be a Facebook link, it might be TikTok, it might be Twitter, it might be whatever. It just opens up in whatever it is. But I don't.
Yeah. It's like whatever, real and shit, and it's funny and shit. And somebody sends you a link. Yeah.
But I don't go down TikTok rabbit holes though. So what did you do? Did you cry?
Nah, nigga, like people was texting me saying that it was going down, and like whenever I post shit, usually whenever I post shit is usually to IG first, and then IG makes everything like I could post it. I mean, nigga ain't posting to Tumblr no more, but I post to Twitter, Facebook through Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like but then like I put like if they had like a little slider and shit where I could put TikTok on there too. I do that shit and I wouldn't have to go. I wouldn't even go to TikTok, but as another social media platform, I post to it just because it's another another outlet to getting stuff out. But like I wasn't tripping that TikTok was going. And honestly, I mean, I was talking about this the other day. It's like we don't go back to stuff, right? Like we don't go back to, we don't say, well, TikTok is down, so let me go back to MySpace, or TikTok is down, let me go. What's the shit? What's the other shit that motherfuckers be on? I never got into that shit. It was the I can't even think of it right now. The other social media shit where motherfuckers had like their faces and they was putting shit on their faces. God damn, I think of it later. Huh?
Dumbasses?
You said dumbasses?
Yeah. Was that the name of
it? We just gonna call it dumbasses, but it was Snapchat. That's what we're looking for. Like, yeah, I never really fucked with, like, I remember one time I was at a event in Chicago, and the chick, she was like, yeah, you need to do a snap. I was like, oh, I do? And and that's the only snap I got on my Snapchat was from that shit from probably about 2010, 2009, something like that.
Man, but look, TikTok would have went away. So they would have found something else. Trump would have probably just funneled his money into something that he would have made his money off of. Somebody would like, man, look, that.
You know what's funny? When TikTok was about to go down, I was looking at other options, and I was like, well, because sometimes we don't do that as Black people at times. I was like, oh, what's going to go up in stock so I can buy the stock and make money on it? You know what I'm saying? Because it was something called, was it Red Note or Red something? I forgot the name of it. It was some Japanese or Chinese app. And I was like, let me invest in that, because if TikTok is down for a period of time, then I mean that's going to go up, because that was looked at as the next thing that was going up. So I was looking at investing in that. Only reason I honestly didn't do it was because it was privately owned, and it had to go through like a third party to be able to buy. Like I literally was investigating, like while I was down in Alabama, like how can I fucking capitalize off of this? Because it's very similar situations. Like when you look at when COVID hit, like they said Zoom stock went up 400%. And it's painfully obvious that those type of things people are going to gravitate to just based off of what they have access to, because we couldn't go outside. So I was like, well, shoot, now we all on Zoom calls and kicking it and stuff like that, or IG Live and stuff like that. Hell, I DJ'd so much live, at that time, it was ridiculous, but I had to figure out a way to be able to generate revenue with DJing and not be able to go outside at the same time, So, but yeah, let me, let's keep it hip hop. Let me ask you this question. What's your favorite hip hop beat of all time? And if you can't think of one, what's your top 5?
They reminisce over you.
Okay. That's your favorite one?
Probably. Like the horns, the made in my ringtone.
Mm-hmm.
Morbidly, I want the instrumental played at my funeral.
Okay. Well, hopefully I die before you and shit, because I want to have Flavor in Your Ear play.
That's your favorite beat?
I think so. I was writing them out, and I was trying to think of all of my shit of all time, and I wrote like 5 or 10. I wrote Flavor in Your Ear. I wrote Ambitions as a Rider. I wrote Lucifer, Jay-Z, Kanye. I wrote Dipset Anthem. I wrote All About the Benjamins. I wrote We Gonna Make It. And I want to talk to you about that beat too, which is crazy. I've been doing some random lookups of that shit. That shit, I mean, because it was kind of fucked up with Razzcast back in the day. Because I still got that shit on vinyl of the Razzcast leak. But then I wrote They Know, Shorty Low.
Okay.
And I wrote Throw Some D's on it.
Okay. Not bad choices.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like all those songs when I may throw International Players Anthem in there. It's just songs when I hear them, it's almost like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the verses on them, but if I hear the beat by themselves, I rock them, you know. So but it's just certain beats that give you a feel. Like what's the one by Prodigy that Alchemist produced? What do you say? I throw a TV at you crazy. Niggas say P you crazy.
Keep it thorough. Keep it thorough.
Keep it thorough. Yeah, that beat, like I can hear that without Prodigy and just ride out. That's like one of my favorite beats. So keeping it hip hop, what's your favorite Outkast album and why?
I'll let you go first.
Favorite Outkast album, I would say, I want to say Southern Playalistic, but then I want to say AT Aliens. And the only reason why I distinguish between the two is like I remember riding with my cousin Brian, and like we would ride Grand Rapids or whatever from the hometown, and like that was an album that, you know, he'd be listening to like Jake the Flake, you know what I'm saying, and some of the, you know, like, and I'm like, but I think that right, Dayton Family, all that shit, and I think that was the album that riding with him, I was like, oh God, this is it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter where the album was, where the tape was at within the song. I just loved that album. But the difference between, like, you say what?
That was AT Aliens you're talking about, or Southern Playalistic?
No, Southern Playalistic.
Gotcha.
But then AT Aliens, I remember when it dropped in '96, being in college, and I remember like getting it like I got maybe like a few days early. Like it was this one record store like on campus. It was called Metro Music and Paging, and they had the album early, and they sold it early. It was probably like I probably paid like $16 or $18 for it, but I remember listening to it, and I remember thinking, because listening to the first album, I couldn't really tell the difference between the two. Right. But I feel like the second album was when I was like, okay, that's Dre, that's Big Boy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I hold that one in a little bit higher regard than I do the first album, just because I feel like that the second album was them like coming out and showing like this is who we are. And then hearing Me and You, it was like a whole, like, it wasn't, if you listen to the first album, you listen to Players Ball, or if you listen to what's the joint they got with CeeLo?
Get Out.
Huh? Yeah, Get Up, Get Out. Yeah. If you listen to that song, or if you listen to Ain't No Thing, or if you listen, like they had a style and a flow, and I fuck with Organized Noise, but when they started doing things a little bit differently, and like you listen to Me and You or Elevators, it was like damn. And that was around the time I was like starting to figure out if I was, you know, go start DJing and stuff like that. And it was just like it was a whole different energy as far as like what they were doing. It was like, okay, these dudes are different. And I always say, like, that's my favorite group of all time, like duo, group, whatever, or like however you call it. But listening to that album, it wasn't anything on there that I really skip. I thought it was a remix to Me and You. I thought was stupid. I think it was called 86 something. I can't remember the name of it, but I thought that 96 or 86. It had a number to it. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't think that made sense. But other than that, I mean that album showed me like and even Goody Mob. Like I mean, if we threw Goody, I mean we talking Outkast right now, but them opening the doors for Goody Mob on the first album because it was just a bunch of southern artists or a collective that we had never heard, but yet it was something that was one of the best experiences that I had within music, just to hear a young Cujo, a young CeeLo, a young Timo, all them just on the first Outkast album, and then to hear them intertwined in the second album too. So, but what about you?
AT is probably my favorite. I probably think the best Outkast album is Aquemini.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Aquemini. I don't know that I like it more than AT Aliens. AT Aliens was just pretty much some of the same things you were saying. Like the production in some ways seemed like it was very like at times minimalist on there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like you got Me and You got Jazzy Bells. I think you got that the joint with Cool Breeze opens up Decatur, I think it's called. You got the one where like it has like the water dripping beat. I just think it was a well produced album. I think it was like I said, I didn't think about that, but you started seeing that distinction between Dre and Big Boy as far as their styles and everything. It's for me, it's one of those albums that I don't think about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But there's times where I'll put it on and I'll just let it play, and I'll be like, "Yo, this is dope." Like I think I get my nieces and nephews. For me, what I consider as a dope hip hop album, like every Christmas. I think I've done it like it's probably been at least 10 years now. And the AT Aliens was one of the earliest ones. Like Outkast was probably the second or third year I wanted to get an Outkast album. And when I was thinking about it, like AT Aliens was the one I chose. Like, and it was, I thought about Southern Playalistic, I thought about Aquemini, but it came out of AT Aliens because I just think AT Aliens to me is just, for me, I know a lot of people, I guess people hold it in a high regard. Like, well, some was Southern Playalistic is the first one, then the third one, Aquemini, is the one that seemed to like, I think that's the
separate.
One that 5 mics, really separate them because it was that whole Aquemini. So like even within the title was kind of separating their personalities. Like I think AT Aliens get sandwiched in between the two, but it's a dope album, and I think I it's almost at times it's one of those albums that it's hard to like listen to songs individually. Like
you just gotta let it play. It's one of those, like if I think I got it on vinyl, but that album is one of those albums that, and it's where like I talk about giving up my vinyl and stuff like that, and I'm still considering. I gave half of it to my nephew already, but it's like that's one of those, like one of the albums that if I had it, I mean I do have it, but like that's one of the albums that I'm not going to give away.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just gonna like if I had to choose between those three, like the first three, because I don't really think Stankonia was. I think Stankonia was a
good album, but it wasn't.
It had too many damn interludes. It had too many damn interludes. That was the interlude in between every song. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's almost listening to the show, The After Party, The Hotel. It's like, yeah, I mean, there was some dope ass songs on there from Jodeci, but like it was like level. I forgot what they call it. Elevated 13. It was a bunch of numbers and shit on that. And it was like, like I think it ended up being like 22 or 24 tracks on that album. You know what I'm saying? Oh, on the Jodeci shit. And it's like, it's like, God damn, like y'all didn't need this many. Y'all could have like literally just made a Jodeci ass album. You know what I'm saying? It kept it moving. But back to those three, it's like if I put on my, and this is why I say I can't get rid of it. If I put it on my turntable and let it play, then I don't have to get up and change the song. Like that's like one of them records that I'm cool with, just letting it ride. I'm like, okay, 4 songs done. Now I got to flip the record over and play it and shit like that. But that's one of them albums that I could just let ride, like without a problem. You know.
That's all I feel. Yeah, yeah. Because when I think about it, like for me, I usually do like make myself playlists off of Apple Music, and like as I think about it, I don't know that I've really done too many individual like songs off of AT Aliens, because probably you start saying, okay, I'm gonna put this one on here. Well, I need to put this one on here. And then you damn near end up with the whole album. And you like, well, I should just listen to the album then.
Just listen to the album and let it ride.
So
that album to me is very similar to how I listen to Doggy Style. Like when I listen to Doggy Style, it's not a I want to hear this song. I want to hear this song. It's like, nah, I want to hear the shiznit. I want to hear Ain't No Fun. I want to hear, like, I just let it go. You know, like,
you started.
It's just a really good ass album. Shit, like, and don't. I mean, I think those other albums are good too. Like, I love Southern Plus Playalistic. Honestly, I feel like, well, I feel like they have one of the better catalogs within the group than my other favorite groups.
Definitely, yeah.
You know,
so yeah. I mean, there are 3 strong albums to start your career, like, and they're 3 different sounds as well.
Yeah,
you could arguably say there, if you go off of Mike rating, none of them are less than a 4.
Yeah,
you could make an argument for them all be 5s if you wanted to.
I think they were being biased, in my opinion, back in the day. And I think they was really going at. I mean, I'm talking like the source. I think they're being very biased as far as like Southern artists. And I mean, big boy, Dre said it. You know, like the South got something to say. Like, and people don't realize how much of an impact that had on music in general. It's like, nah, like we are who we are. Like us, don't like us, don't fuck with us, but we coming. You know what I'm saying? And you look at South music now or Southern music now, and that's where it's at. It's not like, I mean, you may not like Young Thug, you may not like Gunna, you may not like fucking Glorilla or any of these other rappers that's like that has the light on them right now. But when y'all try to push away what was coming, it came even harder. Pause. And that's just what it is. I mean, New York niggas was beefing with New York niggas, and the South was just like, nah, we don't do that shit. Like, we are who we are, and they kept it, and they kept killing it, and they've been killing it ever since. Like, you know, I remember movements talking about like the New York is back movement. It's like, well, why did it leave? You know, like you have to look at that part of it within music and analyze that and keep it moving. You know, I mean, what's that nigga? There was a dude that had a song. Shoot, I can't even think of it right now. I'll think of it later. But he had the song. Oh, this is why I'm hot. You know what I'm saying? And like New York niggas was hating on him because it was a South, had like kind of a South bop. Right. But you know what I'm saying, he's from New York. It was like, well, nah, accept the artists who you like, accept your artists for who they are. I mean, because you had what's the nigga that died? Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not your traditional New York sound. And I hate the fact that he got murdered because dude was only 23. But you know, like he had a lane that was like he was starting to kill it. You know what I'm saying? Which is dope. And that's why I like how 50 was fucking with him. Like, nah, like if I can fuck with you, then do your thing, you know, because some like New York artists be too separate or they separate themselves in order to come together. And that goes back to the Jim Jones and Cameron. It's like, nah, Jim, Cam, do a song together. Like, do some Dipset shit. Like, I ain't gonna say everything from that Dipset double album was like banging, but
solid album.
All them goddamn beats, heat makers, Jewel, like freaky, like they had it, like they was a crew. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, come on, man, like make music, like and kill all the other shit. Why we arguing over podcasts and and YouTube interviews and shit like that? Like, nah, nigga, like Jim Jones, go on the fucking camera show and express your grievances and keep it moving. Like, y'all are from Harlem. Like, y'all all know each other. Y'all, I mean, Jim Jones, you said Mace taught you how to rap. Fuck with that nigga. Like, y'all can do some dope ass shit. Because the song that Jim Jones got out right now is called Harlem, you know, which ironically, like, it's actually pretty dope. You know, so it's just crazy to dispel, like, be like, oh, well, you ain't from Harlem, but this nigga got a whole ass song, like literally got a whole ass song that was released like a few weeks ago called Harlem. You know what I'm saying? He killing it on it. So, but let me ask this question. So, Diddy, like, how you feel about that situation? Like, you could talk about it like from a broad perspective. You could talk about it from a, you know, and you say what?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, man, the court's go. Like, go to court. Let the court figure it out.
Did you get a chance to see the Did you get a chance to see the Dave Chappelle monologue from Saturday Night Live?
I did. That was funny.
Dog, I ain't never heard those shit like when you say shit out loud. Yeah. That shit is just interesting to me. Like, that nigga was like, how the hell you got a RICO case by yourself?
Yeah.
That's some crazy ass shit. Like, you think about, like, how the hell you got a RICO motherfucking case by yourself? Like, that is some crazy shit. But I say my little opinion on it. We could probably jump to the next thing. But like with the Diddy thing, right? Like the whole Cassian in the video, I feel like that's only, I mean, that's making it worse for him in the sense that, you know, they're not. It's like, what are you holding him for? Like, and when they say the whole sex trafficking and stuff like that, it's like, if you bring someone, like you put somebody on a flight or you flew somebody out, that's technically sex trafficking. So like are you prostituting? Are you prostituting these hoes? Like, what are you doing that says that he's doing whatever? It reminds, not necessarily to the extent of Young Thug shit,
right?
But at the same time, it's like, are you holding them to destroy them? Because it's like, and this is what I think we may have talked about this, but I can't remember. But like, I regret not seeing the Bad Boy tour. That shit ain't gonna happen no more. That shit is done. Like, I'm not gonna see not No Way Out tour, but I'm not gonna see a Diddy, you know, like a Diddy reunion for Bad Boy. Like, Bad Boy is done.
Yeah.
I don't know. That shit's crazy to me.
They're federal charges, right? They're Fed charges,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, they Fed. Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, they Fed. Yeah, they Fed.
Yeah, they always say when the Feds come in, man, they usually got like an airtight case. So like I think publicly what we've heard, we have it for me because I it's not a lot that I don't really research these things. So like I'm not like I don't get paid to be a detective, so I don't do internet sleuthing. So I don't know like what all the charges are, but like for all I've heard, like, and I'm sure there might be somebody listening that has like a whole dossier on what it is and will correct me. But I won't hear about it because I won't like read whatever comments they might leave anyway. But like I haven't really heard anything. I haven't heard anything that sounds like a crime to me necessarily. Like when you get into stuff, like, because I don't know what the details of the sex trafficking are. Like, is it he was talking to some chicks and he decided that he met them in LA? He said he's gonna fly them to New York, and within that conversation, it was implied what was gonna happen, which it's regular dudes who fly chicks out.
Yeah.
To fuck. And
yeah.
Cross state lines. But like I my
niggas better check their spirit in frontier flights, nigga.
If it's federal charges, I mean the feds probably got something. The feds don't seem like they waste their time with like just bullshit charges.
But I mean, but look at what they did to Thug though. Thug nigga, Thug
can't really follow, but I know
Thug had to plead down. Thug pleaded down the time that he was in the feds.
Yeah.
That went for time served, and he's out, and he has to do I think 10 years, might be longer than that, but I know at least 10 years probation.
Yeah.
It might be, I think I'm correct me. I mean, it may be like 20 or 30, but like he just got to do probation. So it's like
I don't know.
I feel like sometimes they're reaching this stuff. Like I said, I mean, when you mess with these rappers and stuff like that, like it's so. In Puff, because they said like they said 9 tapes were viewed. They said Cassie gave him 5 tapes or 5 gave him 9 tapes, and they reviewed, and there was nothing on it. Like it was just shit, fucking and sucking. I don't know shit. Yeah. So it wasn't nothing crazy on it. So it's like I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. Like I care less about that, and I hate niggas that are. But it's like, are y'all trying to fuck up the money or what? Because I mean, even the Cassie video, I think that was supposed to be that was supposed to be sealed and wasn't even supposed to be released. So it's like, what's the case? Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I give a shit. Like, I mean, I fuck with Diddy, pause, but like, I don't like. I hope I don't want no black man behind jail, like, what I'm saying, or in prison. You know what I'm saying? And like, the longer that nigga is in there, the longer you fuck up his money. Because I mean, they was talking about all these deals that he was doing, and like I said, I can't speak to another nigga's money. I don't pay attention, but I don't want no nigga in jail. I don't want no nigga in prison. I don't care. Like if I don't fuck with you, you a fuck nigga, anything like that. Like I don't want none of y'all locked up for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I want all of y'all to be able to get the spoils of the earth and keep it moving. So.
You don't want no black man locked up?
I mean, not really. I mean, unless they just some crazy ass shit that's going on with a nigga. But
so say he raped like 40 women. You don't want him to go to jail? Not talking about.
I mean, but I want no nigga that flew the bitch out.
I'm just fucking with you because you made an absolute statement.
Like if you flew the bitch out and you gave her motherfucking, I think they was calling it pink cocaine or something like that. I forgot what they called it. They had a term for it and shit.
No, I feel you. And I probably should have came up with another crime because it makes it seem like I was saying it was Puff. But I was just for one messing with you just because.
Yeah, Puff. I doubt Puff raped 40 women.
Like, no, I'm not that. I don't care. Like, I think the other thing with me with the Puff thing is that, like, I think when the public doesn't know the detail. I would say there's people that have probably done some real research into this, that they probably know details on what the crimes are and things of that nature. Your general public, your person that's on Facebook or Twitter, whatever, that random person that's like sharing a meme or crying about Puff like that person on my Facebook group who like I'm my friend person who like I've spoken to them in real life and know they don't have any common sense. They just saw like Puffy had like 800 bottles of baby oil, so he's guilty or something.
Like, it was 1,000.
Okay,
it was 1,000.
Like, or the ones they're like.
But I don't give a shit if a nigga got 1,000 motherfucking bottles of baby oil. Shit, nigga, I got a motherfucking 60 or 100 boxes of Legos and shit. And that don't mean I'm fucking with kids and shit. Like I don't know. I don't know what the motherfucker doing with the motherfucking 100 shit. Look, Look, this is funny. To the monologue, I'm along with Dave Chappelle, where I have never emptied out a full bottle of baby oil. Like, this shit is crazy. I have never seen an empty bottle of baby oil. Like,
I
it just like, so,
I haven't.
I have never finished off a bottle. Like, that's crazy to me.
I'm trying to remember if I've thrown one out. I know one specifically that I don't think I've thrown out. And it's probably packed away somewhere that I've probably had for 10 years.
I remember I bought a bottle like 2021, and I know that bottle was over half full.
Yeah,
somewhere, like I know, like it's probably under the cabinet in the bathroom. But yeah, I've never gotten rid of a bottle of baby oil or finished it off.
Right. Yeah. So
that's funny. So let me ask this question: like, how often do you watch Vlad interviews?
Only the little clips that you send me.
Oh, okay. See, I watch Vlad interviews a lot, right? And I watch him based off of who he's interviewing, right? And when I watch him, because they say Vlad is the Fed, right? I don't think he's necessarily the Fed, but I don't like the way at times, and I mean, just however you feel. I just want to know your opinion on it. But when I watch it, sometimes I feel like he's putting himself into a position of understanding the culture, whereas he's not a part of the culture. Like I said, I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not out in these streets or anything like that, or I have to abide by the street code, but I do understand as a Black person, it doesn't even necessarily have to be Black, but I understand what it is, for these rappers to be a part of the street code, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, so sometimes I'll hear an interview and I feel like sometimes he's pressing them to go above what the street code is, and like, or quote unquote forcing them to almost snitch. So I mean, what is your take been on like interviews and stuff like that? Because I like I said, I watch them frequently, especially if it has like my favorite rapper. Like I remember one time I was watching one with MC8. I watch all the ones with Tony Ayo, or I watch the ones with even academics, or I've been watching the recent ones with like the FBD gang and like all them niggas. So I'm just curious on your take on how you feel about Vlad.
I mean, Vlad. I don't think Vlad is. I don't think he necessarily care about the people that he interview with. I think he's there to get From what I hear of Vlad, it sounds like he just wants to get a good interview. He wants to get the clips. So that means he's going to ask questions. He's going to ask the questions that you like. Yeah, those questions that might incriminate you on things. But on that though, like, you don't have to answer the questions. You can get up and walk away from.
Why can't niggas just say no comment? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you could avoid all of that shit. Like, what's that nigga? What's the dude from LA? That's locked up right now for the Tupac murder. I can't think of his name. He old ass nigga. Like, he like 60. He in his 60s and shit. But he locked up right now. Yeah, Keefe D. That motherfucker locked up right now off of some shit that he said on Vlad. I mean, he's like, and it's weird with him, like, because Vlad had tried to defend that and say, well, he did it to himself. And then, even take credit that, I solved the Tupac murder. And it's like, bro, like I said, I'm not a part of the street code or think that, you got to abide by this. But at the same time, I understand that I'm not going to interview Ed or talk with Ed and say something that's going to put you in harm's way. So
if they were in the police department and Vlad asked them some of those questions, they lawyer up. I don't know why you think in a video, at this point, you know who Vlad is. He's not some trying to come up. You know he's going to go viral. So whatever you say that might be incriminating might go out there. So shut the fuck up and not answer the questions. You could do that. Like, don't go running your mouth and then say, "Oh, Vlad set me up." I mean, yeah, no, Vlad don't care. Like, what was he purposely trying to set you up? I don't know. I think Vlad's just probably trying to go for the clicks.
Yeah.
So he's just like a journalist. He's just like a little one of, I won't even say journalist. That's an insult to journalists. He's just one of those internet people that tries to do interviews. He wants to get you those little clicks where you watch these interviews in the 5-10 minute clips, or you sit down and you watch all those interviews. He's just trying. He's just a media personality. And like, you go out here at this point in time, like, if you don't understand that, like, if you get caught on tape saying something that could incriminate you, then you're just helping like the police build a case against you. And like, I don't know why you think Vlad ain't gonna save you. Like, what he gonna do? Like, once the video get out there, what do you think Vlad gonna do? He gonna pull it? Well, all right, by that point,
nah.
I mean, by that point, even if you pull it at that point, they done got what they need. They done saved it. Like, you ain't like that. That's like, no. I don't think Vlad cares about the culture. Like, because if Vlad cared about the culture,
that's stuff I worry about.
Question. Like, or if he cared about you, he will put you in those positions by asking those questions. But you mess yourself up because you answer those questions. Like, I'm not going to. If I go out and shoot somebody today, and then Vlad interviewing me and say like, "Hey man, I heard you got a body." I don't know. Like, yeah, man, you know, I got a couple bodies on me, man. I just shot a nigga the other day. Like, and then
I need to chill out on that shit.
And I'm like, man, how y'all get me, Vlad? And I can't believe Vlad set me up.
Yeah, nah, you got to be careful what you're saying, and that shit is
at the mouth, like, man. No, Vlad ain't. Man, it's that. It goes back to the Riley from Boondocks, the accountability thing. Hey, if you standing there and R. Kelly about to like pee on you, do you stay there? Do you stand there?
Like, I move.
Or do you move?
Like, I move.
If Vlad about to ask you an incriminating question, do you answer it? Or do you B, say no comment or walk away? I'll go with B. No comment and walk away. Like, you don't need the clicks from Vlad. Like, I mean, it'll be nice, but you don't need the clicks. Like,
at all.
All these media personalities out here now, like, man, go to the Joe Budden podcast, go to Drink Chaps. Like, where they won't ask you to incriminate a question. Dory just gonna get you drunk. Now, you might slip and say some incriminating stuff because you don't got drunk, but Nori ain't gonna ask you no incriminating questions while you drunk either. Nori just gonna say some stupid shit to you. Like, there's other outlets out there for you to go viral. Now, you don't need Vlad. If you're trying to go viral, you don't need Vlad. Like,
hey, let me ask you this question. Did you see the video of Joe Budden running butt ass naked?
No, I have not heard. This is the first I'm hearing about this, and I'm not gonna go look for it.
No, and look, it's a whole. He was running to his neighbors and shit, and I don't know the full details of why he was doing it, but he's on camera. I think he had like a towel or something, but he's running butt ass naked. It happened, was it no, it might have been 2 days ago. But yeah, your boy out here.
He's not my boy anymore.
Joe Beasy out here running butt ass naked on camera. It reminds me, did you ever see the video of Mateen running butt ass naked after the chick?
I heard about the video.
Oh, it's available. Like I fuck with Mateen because we went to Michigan State and shit like that. But yeah, it's a video. He running out butt ass naked after some chick or whatever, trying to coerce her back to whatever they're doing. So, but yeah,
there's videos out there doesn't mean we have to look for them.
That's true. But I'm saying it's your boy though. It's Joe Beasy.
So I want to go look at it because I want to go look at Joe Budden running naked because it's Joe Budden. So if Common's somewhere running, around butt ass naked, you gonna go look for the video?
So what's the first thing you've ever purchased with your first paycheck?
I'm gonna take that as yes, and we covered that on the last podcast. Wow, I'm gonna take that as a yes.
You're not taking it as a
You
yes.
can't pause this whole podcast. You need to say pause on that.
That was a heavy pause.
That's crazy. Common's your favorite rapper.
Yeah.
If he's running around in a video naked because he's your favorite rapper, you're gonna look for the video.
Oh man, you know what's crazy?
How old are you?
So let me ask you this question.
How old are you?
Did we say that we don't have to answer all questions? So what's the first thing you ever bought with your first paycheck when you got paid, whether it was high school, junior high, or whatever? And I ain't looking for that video, nigga.
You know we already talked about this, right?
We already did that one? What'd you buy?
A bunch of car canal gear.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I didn't remember talking about this, but maybe I did because I remember first thing I would have bought. Oh, was it the last one?
Yep.
Well, fucking then, shit. Well, I'm gonna say it again. First thing I bought was some motherfucking K-Swiss styles and shit.
Yep.
I was so excited about that shit.
You were.
So all right. So let's
tell the story again.
That's right. I'm gonna say it again. So let me ask this question: after LeBron, Steph, and KD leaves the NBA, who's gonna be the face of the NBA, and who's your favorite player?
Cade Cunningham and Cade Cunningham. No,
okay.
Probably.
I mean, it could be Cade balling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, Cade is the Pistons, so I'm gonna put him as my favorite player, and he has been balling. I'm glad because he was injured first 2-3 years, had a few injuries. People were, doubting him. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I wasn't gonna follow Detroit this year because I told one of my boys I wasn't gonna follow Detroit this year.
Hey, them niggas 2 games above 500 right now. Actually, I think they won now.
Yeah, they won yesterday. Yeah. So like, I was like, I'm not gonna follow. I'm not gonna have any expectations. I'm like, no expectations. I think they sitting around 7 for 8 seed.
Yeah.
If they continue at this pace, I feel like they'll at least be in the play-in.
Is it the Tobias effect?
Yeah. Yep. Philly out here struggling.
But Philly is terrible right now.
They are. Yeah.
Them niggas. I looked at it. I can be wrong. My fault for interrupting. But I looked at it like was it 2 days ago, and them niggas is like terrible, like 13th or 14th. Like they ain't even like 10th, 9th. Terrible. Like in the play-in, they are terrible. So
yeah, it really is.
So I fuck with Tobias though. Tobias, look, I was watching the Club 520 podcast, and they were saying, look, Tobias gonna give you 17-9. Like no matter where he go, like that nigga's gonna give you his numbers. Motherfucking hooping ass J. Cole. Then they go give you his numbers wherever he go.
Yeah. You can rock with that. Yeah, Philly's 15 and 26. They're in the 11th spot.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah. Like looking at this, like I think Detroit, because after that is Brooklyn, Charlotte, Toronto, and Washington. I don't think Detroit, like Philly might sneak in here if Philly is.
Come on to the 10th seed?
Huh?
Come on to the 10th seed into the play-in?
Yeah, like if Philly were to go on a run, now I don't see it, but it's
no, that ain't gonna happen.
Maxey, like it's probably like they're 4 games behind Chicago, and who's in the 10th slot. Like I feel like if
4 games, nah, that shit ain't gonna happen. Well, shit. Well, I guess we got
Chicago though.
So how many games they play? What 30, 35 somewhere? No, probably like 35.
40. So that's the halfway point. The thing about Chicago though is that they're the thing about Chicago though is it talks about if they trade Lonzo, if they trade Levine. The thing if Chicago has a fire sale at the trade deadline, then they might fall out the 10th spot just because they've given everybody away.
So they might play better if they have like just young guys hooping. I mean, you look at Houston, nigga, like them niggas is what, second or third in the West, and them niggas ain't got nothing but young niggas. Yeah. Like, I mean, that could come down to coaching too, you know. But because I like Udoka, even though he fucking over your main one. But you know, it's just like, you know, sometimes like Levine leaving or whoever leaving within that spot can, you know, make the game open up for the young ones, and they could probably ball out, you know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, so I mean, I'm just, when I look at the roster, that's Chicago's the only team that I see falling out of the top 10 that Philly could overtake. I don't know that'll happen, but like I don't think I see Detroit falling out the top 10. So I think they'll get to play in. But
so let me ask you this question. Yeah. Because you got all of this money within the NBA and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And granted, you know, I think, like I said, I'm not going to speak to how contracts should be structured and stuff like that. But I feel like they were structured a little bit better back in the day. But I get everybody getting their money. But how do you, when you have an aging star, get rid of them? Because you have a situation like Butler, right? I think Butler is scheduled to make like 40 or 50 mil. You're talking Miami. How do you get rid of? Or how do you get rid of what's my man playing for Phoenix right now? Bradley Beal. Or even like, I hope that they don't do this, but like you say Steph making $60 million a year this year. Like, what teams can afford with the cap and all that stuff? What teams can take these trades? Like, how do you? So let me reel it back. I don't want to ask too many questions at once. Like, how do you get rid of Butler if you're Miami?
I don't know. I mean, y'all the ones who signed them to these deals. Y'all the ones, when they ask for these extensions, y'all give them. Like, you know what age Butler was gonna be. Like, you knew you want.
But they know he's gonna leave though. So I mean, it's like so look at it from a Pat Riley perspective, right? And not to interrupt, but like, how do you, when you got a person that's making 40, I think he's closer to 50. I think his next contract is gonna be like 50 million if you do the extension. Like, how do you say, well, because in my guess, my opinion is they just go out to start eating that. Like, they go out to just start eating that against the cap, and then just signing. Because usually when a team cut a player, like they cut them straight up, because all the NBA money is guaranteed. When they cut a player straight up, like say if they cut Jimmy, I think Jimmy's at like 48 or something like that. You cut Jimmy, you got 48 against the cap. If another team signed him, whatever they signed him for is taken away from the cap. So like if they sign him for $6 million. Huh?
I ain't cutting Jimmy.
Huh?
I'm not cutting Jimmy. If Jimmy want to go and nobody want to take him, then we're going to be miserable for the next season and a half. I'm going to send Jimmy home, and we're going to play with the players that we got. Jimmy going to sit his ass at home. I won't buy Jimmy out because, like you said, it'll kind of get your cap, and I'm not going to cut him. So then, like, Jimmy can still get most of his money from me, and then go sign to, like, I don't know, Phoenix for like $5 million. Nah, Jimmy. But see, teams ain't gonna want to do that. That's what I would do. Like, maybe if he had like 3-4 years left on his contract, maybe we gotta start talking about something. But like a year, nah, you can pick it up, Jimmy.
Okay.
And we'll do this. We're gonna have a struggle, and we might be tanking this year. We might be in the market for a good draft pick. Like, but you know, I think the other thing though is, some of it depends. Like, if you find a team that wanted cap space, like if you're Miami, you might have to look at a situation like you're not gonna get like fair value back.
Well, fair value return.
But if you want to say, okay, I can get some draft capital, like, because at this point it'll be like, if you could move Jimmy off, like, if I'm Miami, I might consider moving Jimmy for draft capital and expiring contracts. because you are Miami. You are a free agent destination. That if you can move Jimmy now and get that salary off of the books, where you're owing him, I think it's 50-55 million next year, that's going to be 50-55 million in possible cap space. Now, I don't know where they're at in terms of the luxury tax and all of that, that if that'll actually be a true 50-55 million, but you'll get draft capital and you'll have some expiring contracts. But I don't think you're going to get a fair value for him. But the other thing is going to be is you probably want to have to find a team that's going to want to, unless they're willing to give Jimmy an extension. And it sounds like Jimmy wants I don't know, a 3-4 year, $50 million a year extension that I don't know who or why someone would give him that. Then the thing is that you're similar to one like Kawhi got traded to Toronto, where Toronto knew that we might only have him for a year, and they only had him for a year, and they got a chip out of it. But I don't know. Jimmy's not Kawhi. Jimmy isn't Toronto Kawhi. I don't know any team that Jimmy goes to, unless say. I somehow heard Phoenix pop up in here, and I feel like if you do,
I mean, him and Bill, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Him and Bill contracts, they're not far off, but you can throw in some other pieces from Phoenix and not be that far off. But
if I'm Miami, I might look at. I don't know how many years Bill has on his contract. I'll take Bill. I don't think Phoenix has necessarily worked out for him, but I think
the nigga went to the University of Florida, so I said the nigga went to the University of Florida, so
I think. I don't know how many years Bill has on that contract, but I would, if I'm Miami, I might look into that. I'd consider that. If Bill has maybe a couple years, 2-3 years on the contract, I think you can get back to having that 20-point a game Bill possibly.
I need to look that up because I'm curious on Bill, because Bill signed that deal a while back, and he's been with Phoenix almost, this be his second year, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna think that Bill would have more than. I feel like he signed that deal a year before he knew he's gonna leave and type shit. And I don't think nobody was signing no deal with longer than 4 years anyway, just because of LeBron. So I would think that I would think he would have more than a year after this year.
He's a free agent in 2027, so. It looks like he'll probably be a free agent after next. No, wait.
No, that's another 2 years.
Yeah, because we're 2024, 24, 25.
Yeah, 2025, 26, 26, 27.
26. And then so it'd be the rest of this season. So you got
2 more years after that.
2 years. If I'm Miami, I might consider it.
I would still do it. That's the only team I see that's comfortably that can trade him and not necessarily value and stuff like that, but they won't have to, because like I said, with the amount of money, with the way that the cap is increasing, is 48 mil is a lot to replace on a Miami team. It's a lot to get back from another team.
Right. Yeah. But if I'm Miami, I might pull the trigger on that one.
But you got to give other people. Well, then again, Phoenix is sucking right now too, though. So who knows? I mean, honestly, they're not even. I think they want to say they as far as a play-in, if I remember correctly. But they ain't a strong contender in the West right now.
No, not at all. No, they're not. They suck.
So if you had to pick somebody out of just in general, top 2 teams, who do you think it would be? And then who you think could win it all?
You mean a team out the East and a team out the West?
Yep.
OKC is looking tough.
Bro, it's weird to say it because you always want one of those, household names to be doing it, but I don't think highly of Houston just because they're young, but man, OKC and Denver out of the West, man, like one of them two. And I probably like the way Russell was playing, I might give the edge to Denver, but I still think OKC is a team to beat in the West.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, and then it's Boston out of the East. I mean, and then there's Cleveland. Like, and I saw some projections saying Cleveland over Boston. I just don't see it. Like, Boston has been playing hurt, though they haven't had a consistent lineup of players like the whole season. Yeah. You know, Porzingis has been out. Derek White has been out. You know, here and there. I think Jaylen Brown was out last week, but it's just like, but they like when they all play together, it's a hard team to beat. I just don't see them not repeating the championship if they're all healthy and ready to go. But Cleveland, man, like at one point in time, they were projected to win like 71 games, and I'm like, damn, it's crazy how you have like a LeBron or Kyrie that leaves, and I mean, people can say whatever about Dan Gilbert, but Dan Gilbert finds a way for his teams to bounce back, because even when, LeBron left, I think they won maybe about 17 to 16 games, and then they got Kyrie, and then they were on a trajectory of coming back or getting better, and then LeBron went back. So it's kind of like, you could say whatever, even when he wrote that letter and all that shit about LeBron, but I mean, the dude knows how to,
No, he just got lucky.
I don't know if it's luck, dog. They had to
2 out of 3 years. That's just a luck of bouncing.
You said they got lucky 2 out of 3 years?
It was I think 2 out of 3 years they got the number one pick. Or was it back-to-back years? No, I think it was 2 out of 3.
You talking about back with Kyrie? Or you talking about recently?
No.
I mean, but no, one of them number one picks, dog. That dude is not in the NBA no more. That dude was probably not in the NBA after like his first 2 years.
Exactly.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I know Anthony Bennett.
Yeah, Anthony motherfucking Bennett.
Just saying,
like them number one picks is fine. Like, but I'm saying from picking the right, like getting Jared Allen, like getting all of these other pieces into.
He the GM.
I mean, he's the owner.
Yeah,
if you gonna say Dan Gilbert sucks, like you got to say, hey, you got to give props to him too.
No, what I'll say for Dan Gilbert sucking. The one thing I'll say is that letter that he wrote about LeBron to me was some trash shit. Like players had a right to leave, and you talked about LeBron like he was your property. Like that's disrespectful as hell. That to me, it ain't about your basketball decisions. It ain't about like you got the handicapped son who gave you luck so you get like 3 number one picks. It ain't that. It's the way you talked about LeBron. And then to me, for LeBron, when you went back, you should have said that you should publicly apologize for what he said about you. He never did it publicly. But like if I'm LeBron, I'm like, nah, you want me to come back? Hey, just as loud as you were about me leaving, come back humble. Come back, get humble, and publicly apologize for the way you talked about me in that letter. Like
I feel like this. If you feel a certain kind of way about somebody, you mad, whatever title position that you hold, you said it and you stand on it. Like, do I have to apologize for how I feel about something? I mean, he was salty about it. I mean, if you look at how LeBron has held organizations hostage, you know what I'm saying, for where he was going to go and how he's going to move, you know what I'm saying? Like, even within the Cleveland situation, LeBron waited to the end of the draft, or end of the draft, the end of free agency, so which means that you can't get nobody. Like if LeBron would have bounced and said, hey, I'm going to Miami and then Gilbert could have moved on. LeBron waited until the end of it. I'm not saying that it's right or it's wrong about the letter, but what I'm saying is, like, you can have a certain way that you feel about things, whether, like if it's like fuck me, then it's like fuck you, you know. But not to say, like I said, not to say that it's right or it's wrong, but like I remember that free agency, and it was that damn Friday and Saturday when the whole what was the name? What was they called it? The decision, you know what I'm saying, was made. And don't get me wrong, I mean, do it how you do it, but it's like, bro, like you gave us like you made us believe that you were going to return. Like nobody believed. I don't care. Like I didn't believe that he was going to come back. I mean, I believed that he was going to come back. Everybody thought he was going to come back, and blah blah blah. Now there's no free agents to get. You know what I'm saying? So that season after that, you say what?
LeBron believe you don't get Kyrie Irving, and then you don't get Andrew Wiggins that you could turn into Kevin Love. So how do we know that like Gilbert and LeBron just didn't collude together because they both from Ohio, so they both trash because they from Ohio? I'm gonna say that they colluded together
to get Kyrie.
He go away for 3 years, then he come back and he get Ohio they little garbage chip.
Honestly, I feel like there was a group of individuals around LeBron that said,
"Put out that baby oil and slam."
No, he hit him with the Diddy baby oil. No, I feel like Dan Gilbert. I feel like LeBron's people's around him was like, "Hey, look, because you know he only won one in Cleveland, and shout out to Golden State for doing their damage, but it's like he knew." He had, like, for legacy reasons, he had to bring a championship to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, or else or else he'd be looked at as KD within his career. Because if you look at KD was hands down the best player on Golden State Warriors rosters. And people will say to this day, KD just jumped from team to team to get a championship. KD won the Finals MVP both of them years. Like, and other than that, he was hurt. KD don't look. This is what gets interesting about the Brooklyn roster, right? Brooklyn with Kyrie, KD, James Harden. They were picked every single year while they were there to be the champion. You know what I'm saying? You know what could keep, like, they kept getting hurt.
Or two.
You said what?
They're only together for like a year or two.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they were picked the whole time to be, but they couldn't stay healthy enough to do it.
Yep.
James Harden was out. Kyrie was out the next year. You know? I mean, you look, hell, reel it back a little bit. Kyrie fought his way out of Cleveland to go to Boston.
Yep.
With Tatum. Jalen coming the next year. Couldn't get it together. Kyrie had to get out. Now look at him now. Perennial favorites not every year, but, you know, they've been to the finals, 2 out of 3 years?
Oh.
Or no, actually, 3 times, right? Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Won the championship once and lost twice.
They've been to the finals times?
I think it was 3, at least twice. I want to say it's 3 though. I want to say they've been there 3 because they lost against who they lose against?
Golden State, didn't they?
They lost against Golden State the 1 year, and they lost against who did they lose against? It was definitely Golden State, and who was Denver?
Denver.
Yep.
Didn't Denver beat Miami?
Denver beat Miami. You're right. So Denver beat Miami. Golden State. I want to say so they've been to the finals twice.
Denver beat Boston because they got up 3-0 on Boston, and Boston forced that game 7.
So Denver beat Boston.
Yep. No, Denver beat Miami.
It would be Miami.
Because
So
Miami got up 3-0 on them. I mean Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals that year.
Said Denver got up on Boston, or wait, what?
Miami got up on Boston 3-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, and then Boston won. Boston.
Whoa.
No, was it 3-0?
It was 3-0 because Boston forced a game 7. And they lost. They blew out.
Okay. Okay, so then so you're saying Miami beat Denver. So you're saying Boston been to the finals twice or 3 times?
I think they've only been twice.
Okay, for some reason I feel like it was 3 times, but if they've only been twice, they've been one and they lost one.
One, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. No, but they are the perennial favorites now. And I mean, I don't see any team. I definitely don't see any team in the East beating them. Maybe the Knicks. The Knicks looks pretty good. But outside of that, I really don't see a team that poses a threat.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. So last topic. Let me ask this question: for the Super Bowl or for the NFC AFC Championship, like, who do you think wins the next week games?
Who cares? It ain't gonna be the Lions. I'm gonna go with Philly.
I mean, we want the Lions to win, but I mean, it's a wrap now. But
I want Philly and the Bills, with Philly winning.
You want the Bills?
The BKC, yeah. I don't care about K. I'm tired of looking at. I don't want to see another Super Bowl where I gotta hear about Taylor Swift.
I mean, it could be about Mahomes. So let me ask you this question. Fuck the Super Bowl. We don't give a shit about that shit. Because the Lions ain't gonna make it. So let me ask you this question. How dope is Mahomes?
He all right.
He all right?
Mahomes is solid. No, Mahomes is good. Mahomes has fallen into this vortex with me that, like, there's things that Mahomes has allowed to happen outside of football that I don't care about him anymore. He is a dope quarterback. He's probably
what do you got going on outside of the game?
I don't feel like talking about that. He's he's probably this generation's Brady. He'll probably, the way KC plays and all that, because what does he have? 2 or 3 Super Bowls right now?
He got 3.
3, and this is gonna be a 3-peat if they pull it off, right?
Yeah,
3-peat.
Yeah. This would be his 4th. This would be his 4th Super Bowl at the age of 29.
He all right. I'll be honest. I don't care. Like,
if I had to ask you this question, how many Super Bowls did Brady have before he was 30?
Shit, I don't know. 2?
Nigga, 1. Like, he is, as you said, is becoming this generation's, or becoming Brady.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about this. I'm like, damn, like, this dude about to be 29. And like I said, not if he wins, I actually like Mahomes. So, I didn't want him to win above the Lions, but the stuff that Kansas City, I don't think you're gonna hear about Taylor Swift that much this year anyway. So, but the way that he's winning at the rate that he's winning, because I got to look at the years that Tom Brady won in his 30s, but his trajectory is crazy. Like, if they, from winning, you get those pieces. Like, you don't just slow down. Like, and he's still, like, moving around and mobile. It's hard to, not put him at that point of, not to say the greatest yet, but his trajectory is crazy. Is all I'm saying. Like, 4 Super Bowls by the age of 29 is crazy to me.
You're right, but He can win next year. I like Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts though.
But Saquon Hurts, he got hurt in the third though. So I mean, hopefully he's able to bounce back. But yeah, he fell on his arm or something like that, and I'm not sure the injury, if they disclosed it or not. But he went down in the third quarter. So
I'm gonna root for the black quarterback, which means I'm rooting to win one of the teams in the NFC because I'm rooting for the black quarterback.
I mean, there's 3 out of 4 black quarterbacks. You got only one you got is what, Josh Allen. I mean, the only one that you don't got is Josh Allen. I mean,
I feel like the statement I made was the correct statement.
So you don't want the Bills?
No, I want the black. Well, the Bills because I'm rooting for a black quarterback. So, like, the black quarterback is going to come out of the NFC. So,
who's the black quarterback for the Bills?
There's 2 black quarterbacks though, and they're both in the NFC.
Oh, okay. Like Josh Allen ain't.
I know there's only 2 black quarterbacks remaining.
It should be 3, right? You got Josh Allen, Jaden. Yeah, no, I'm saying Josh Allen's the white quarterback is what I'm saying. The rest is black, right? Who missing? Who you got? Yeah, Philly, Hurts.
If you want to say there's 3, sure.
Oh, you ain't got Mahomes?
You want to say it's 3, it's 3. I mean, I said Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts, but yeah, if you want to throw them in there.
Okay. That's funny. I mean, if you look at his daddy, I mean, his daddy is up there. His daddy is black. Like, that's the nigga. Like, they ain't no denying, them genes. Like, you see him.
Quarterback for the Chiefs, though, but I know what you're saying.
All right. I feel what you're saying. Well, all right. Well, we definitely went over the time. We had an hour plus. Please hit subscribe.
55 minutes.
That's right. We did pretty good though, man. Like, please hit subscribe on there as my niece and nephews have told me to make sure I say next time during our podcast time. But hit subscribe, whether you're watching it on YouTube or if you're watching it on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Thank you all for attending, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Anything else you got, Ed?
Nah, peace. Go black quarterback.
Which one?
The 2 in the NFC.